Hello everybody, my name's Kanai Mainika, and welcome back to the unboxing, where today we are returning to video games and Figma and whatnot. Yeah, it's fairly simple. Last time, previously, hopefully not too long ago from the time of this releasing, but who knows, I'm bad with schedules. We took a look at the Persona 5, the animation version of, Persona 5's Queen, aka Makoto Nijima. Now, we're jumping back into the Phantom Thieves with one of the more important releases, probably. That being, you can't see it yet. Gotcha. Got, idiots. There we go. That being Persona 5's Joker. Yeah, I am recording this far earlier than I expected it to arrive. But hey, I'm not going to complain too much now, am I? Yeah, so, this is, from what I can tell, Figma's first release from the Persona 5 series, because Persona 5 is kind of a series, it's got, like, spin-offs and whatnot. But yeah, this is their first release from Persona 5, as you can tell, it just says Persona 5, this is before Persona 5 became, like, a whole big anthology. So yeah, that's interesting. I decided I wanted to get the protagonist of the game, because why not? Thankfully, the box doesn't just say, like, protagonist, it's, as you can tell, it's Joker, because he is in his Phantom Thief persona, or whatever. But yeah, otherwise, this seems to be a fairly standard Figma package. You've got the rectangular window right here, a image of the figure in an action pose on the side, Max Factory logo at the top, Figma Persona 5, you got your Atlas stickers so that you can see that it's an authentic product. Joker, product number 363. On this side, we have another image of Joker from the promotional materials, him standing there, and yeah, general Joker stuff. Red background at the bottom, it says Joker, Figma, the works. On this side, we get Joker jumping down, out of the what's the moment when you leave the palaces, he does something like this before hitting the ground and then starting the run, and it's like, here's all the things you did in the palace. Joker, Figma. The bottom and the top appear to be the same outside of the barcode. You got Max Factory Figma number 363, Joker, Persona 5, and you have him grabbing his glove like he does in his all-out attack pose. The same can be seen at the top. Moving around the back, you get a ton of different promotional shots of the figure. You've got the kind of, I guess, just standard pose. It's the same pose that he does, like, in, like, his amiibo or whatever. You have the all-out attack. You have him doing a hold-up with the gun that is included. An image of him walking forward with the included Morgana, because this does include Morgana. Him doing the jump down, as previously mentioned. And then this image, which was a bit obscured by the warnings, shows Joker with the mask and without the mask, because you can do either or. This is for ages 15 and up. Get the fuck out of here, children. But yeah. Let's... that was a hell of a pull. Whatever. Let's open it up and see what all physically comes with this package. I mean, I already know, because I've previewed this, but I want to show you guys, because the background is just a basic red insert, nothing too crazy, but it's that very nice Persona 5, like, bright red. So here's everything. As you can see, fairly standard Figma packaging, from what I can tell. Let's flip it around. Or not. It's in a pouch. Usually it's just been taped to the back, but I guess since this is a somewhat older release, it's just kind of there. Alright, let me check for tape. Okay, no tape around here. I'm getting this because that Figma Makoto is really fucking good. One of my favorite releases in the line. It's a really good figure. You should get your hands on it. But now we're taking a look at Joker and seeing if this figure is just as good. So, in terms of accessories, first off, you get the Figma baggie, something that should be included in so many more figure lines. This is a great form of storage so that you don't have to worry about keeping the box or whatever. You can just put it in the baggie and then forget about it. And here is also all of the ancillary accessories, as well as an instruction pamphlet for if you don't know how to play with a figure or whatever. It's always good to have, guys. And as you can see, we have the base for the stand, the average stand arm, a stand arm extender, as long as a spare hand peg, as well as all of the extra hands, what I think is a trigger finger hand, 2 knife-holding hands, and 2 open palm hands, because I think he has fists? Yeah, he has fists on him. Whoops, I messed with the faces a little bit. Let's get these things open. We won't spend too long on the Figma stand. While this is different from the one that came in the Figma Samus, this is the basic Figma stand, the one that you're probably most likely to be familiar with. It's this hexagonal base with a slightly, I guess, like rough texture to it, and smoother where it says Figma. Hopefully I won't bleed. Let's see. Yeah, I scraped myself. Sorry. I sometimes get lost when that happens. Then you get your stand arm, and then you plug it into this fat end here, into the base. There you go. Usually you just need this, from what I can tell. Sometimes they include a tiny little adapter to make it a little bit easier for you. But this one includes a really long adapter, because Joker is apparently... I've seen a few images. Apparently his joint is fairly high up there. I just stabbed into the hands bag, though, so let's take a look at that, I guess. Give me a second as I get the hands out of there. So, the hands come on this nice, helpful rack here. There's a few more pegs than you probably need, and you can probably use these 2 bottom ones for the fists, but these help the pegs to stay expanded so that you don't have to worry about them warping over time. So you've got, again, open palm hands, which are great for poses like that. I just pointed up into the void out of the frame. He's got the grippers, and he has the average trigger finger hand for when he's holding his gun. These aren't too crazy of hands. They do look like they have a little bit of nice, subtle glove sculpting, but, you know, they aren't too crazy. Yeah, they're workable as gloves. And it says Figma right there. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, he also comes with a one spare hand peg, just in case it breaks. Let me get that down. It comes with a spare hand peg in black, just in case one of the ones that he uses breaks. As well as this stand arm extender, specifically made for this figure because of circumstance. You want to get him in the air anyways. Even if he wasn't as lanky as he is, you'd want to get him in the air anyways. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's in this little pouch here, but now let's get to the faces and whatnot. He seems to have a fairly stern face on him initially, but he also has the mischievous smirk, which feels very in line with Joker. You've got his gray eyes, expertly painted on there. The sculpting is nice and subtle, but it looks very nice. Yeah, just a nice mischievous smirk, and then you've probably got the all-out attack smile. Yeah, he's looking to the side because it's his all-out attack, and he's just beaming. It is a very nice face sculpt. But also, there's a little bit extra. He comes with an alternate front hairpiece. This portrays the Joker mask. From what I can tell, it feels a tad large to me, but it is very nicely painted. It looks just like his mask in-game, and it's not too much paint slap. There's a little bit on my copy. This is the modern re-release, the 2024/2025 re-release of Joker, so just in case you're wondering which batch. And you can see the mask inserted on the inside, so that's nice. It looks nice to me. It portrays his hair nicely as well. He also comes with 2 weapon accessories. First off is his pistol. As you can see, it's fairly simple, but it's very nicely painted and sculpted. It's got the brown at the handle. The nice silver sheen of the rest of the gun, though. And it's the gun that he uses in the game. At least his basic gun. Next up, though, is probably one of his more iconic weapons, his knife. The nice hole sculpted in there. The gunmetal that goes from the bottom all the way to the top. I'm kind of stabbing myself because this is sharp. The silver blade. And yeah, this is a very nice dagger. Yeah. Next up, accessories-wise, though, we have to get to Morgana. A non-posable figure. If you want a posable version of Morgana, the Nendoroid is probably the way to go. It comes with his own little stand. You just plug that into there. And then, let's pull out Morgana. There's a little bit of plastic in between his neck, because he has a posable neck. But yeah. This is Morgana. This is one of his more basic poses. I'm pretty sure it's basically just one of the pieces of promotional art turned into a 3D sculpture, essentially, but it works very well. His eyes are painted masterfully. They're full of character and life. Everything else is painted serviceably. I probably have some slight complaints, but I don't mind too much. Yeah, this is Morgana. I do wish he was a bit more of an articulated figure, but like I get it. It's very hard to get something at this scale nice and articulated. I don't think the tail doesn't move, but the head does move. I think it's on a ball joint. Though, like, it only really gets a little bit of tilt. You're mostly going to be swiveling it. But yeah, this is Morgana, a nice little side piece to your Phantom Thief collection. If you want a posable one, though, don't splurge on this if you aren't already interested in the Joker. That it comes with. If you just want a Morgana, probably go for the Nendoroid, because that one is going to be far more expressive, far more posable. It won't be in scale with the Figma figures, probably, but it is probably just going to be the better figure overall, and the peg is not going into his back. I'll probably need to heat that up. I'll deal with that later. I don't think he can stand on his own, though, so we'll deal with that later. I'll heat him up. But yeah, without further ado, though, let's move all this plastic out of the way so that we can look at Joker. So, outside of all the plastic that's just kind of generally laying there, you get 2 sheets that cover up the trench coat and a bunch of plastic around the neck. Give me a sec. Let me do this off screen because I don't want to damage things too much. You know how it is. You get it. You all get it. I think y'all get it. Is it under the... There we go. Let's get that face back in there. Oof. And, yeah. Here we have Persona 5's Joker. A taller figure than the Makoto was, though I think these Persona 5 figures are generally leaning smaller. Here is a, even though he's very lanky, here he is next to Commoner Mach, the SH Figuarts version, and as you can see, he feels a bit smaller in comparison, despite him seemingly being one of the taller members of the Phantom Thieves. But I don't mind that. I don't know, I guess them feeling a little bit smaller helps them to feel, I guess, a mixture of both stealthier, but also, like they're gonna fight an uphill battle or whatever, stuff. But yeah, the hair really does help make this face sculpt work well, and this is a more stern facial expression for Joker, and yeah. The paint detail isn't too intense, which makes sense. I think there is, like, a bit of, like, I think the black is painted on, though it could just be plastic. I don't mind too much either way. But he has a fairly simple but very nice design. The large collar, the long black trench coat with... that's nice. The buttons are painted a slightly different shade that's nice and shiny, which, again, really just adds to the vibe, the energy. But yeah, mostly fairly plain black trench coat with, like the flared out thigh, like, pant parts, like the gold buttons all over the place, the red hands, the little triangles in his coat pocket. And yeah, fairly simple, but very nice, all things considered. He is very long, though. He is long, but I do feel like it works. Joker is very much a lanky character. So this feels in character overall, but from what I can tell, it also allows for some wicked-ass articulation. So let's get into that. The head is on your average ball joints, from what I can tell, or your average like neck joints. It's able to go all around, look up and down. It's not on a double joint, from what I can tell. Can't really look up all that far, though he'll be looking up in different ways, I think. But he can look down fairly nicely, looking down on, like, people he's about to pounce on. It's nice. Shoulders. I think these are average shoulder joints, like your average ball hinge or whatever. Able to move in and out a little bit of slight butterflying, but otherwise it's fairly simple to move. There's, like, also a swivel there, I think. Though I imagine there's also a swivel at this single-hinged elbow, though it's able to get fairly past 90 degrees. The sleeve cuff, I believe that's what you call it, I'm sorry, I'm bad with clothes, is on a separate swivel, so you can get it however you would like it to look. You can have it pointed inward, pointed outward, however you feel works best. And the hands are on your average hinge peg, the swivel hinge swivel. You know how it works. Torso, there's not really any upper torso articulation, but that's because it's all saved for here. Jesus. As you can see, under the jacket, there's just this fucking dearth of joints. You're not going to be displaying it from this direction, however, it is something to keep in mind in photo making and displaying. But it does allow him to do this. He does need to do these insane acrobatic poses. Though I guess I suggest trying to pat down the jacket, because it doesn't look the best all the time. This able to get you the swivel, and just a ton of fucking range. That just looks nice and natural and well done. Yeah, it's great. It works well for the Joker design. Waist cape is on articulation, basically just single hinges. Like, this is, well, not necessarily single hinges, it's swivel hinge swivels, like the hands, I think. And they're able to flare out as much as you need to help make poses more dynamic. And you're able to pose basically wherever you want them to, which is absolutely wonderful given the dynamic look of this figure. You can get them more in a standard pose or just flared out dramatically. Very well done. Hips, I believe, are on ball joints, which are able to, as well as thanks to this rubber overlay for the upper pants, are able to kick forward. If you're careful, kick backward, you're able to get through the slit. In moving the legs, you will need to get these bits out of the way and kick all the way outward. Very nice. Very well done. Thigh swivel, as is to be expected. Single jointed knee, but it's able to get, like, all the way practically. Not all the way. You're not kicking his ass or anything, but it gets as far as you need. Feet. They look to be swivel hinge swivels, so you're able to swivel it, hinge forward, hinge backward, and a little bit of ankle rocker. A little bit disappointing, but it works well enough. And no toe hinge, but I guess that's fine because you want to be focusing on stability given the lower amount of surface area in his heeled boots. But yeah, this is a nice figure. I find that the jacket is flaring out a little bit. I'm going to take it back and see if I can mess around a little bit with it. But yeah, this is a high-class figure of a fun character design that just feels very dynamic and strong. And yeah, this just feels, this is a good figure, I think. Very interesting. Let's get this frontal hair off, though, so that he can look more like he does in most things. Obviously, he does fight without the mask, but without Arsene or any of his other personas here, let's get that mask on, and it looks a decent amount better in person. I wish it was a little bit closer to the face, but it looks better in person, I think. Yeah, it looks way better in person, actually. The photos don't really do the mask justice. It looks way fucking better in person than it does in the promotional shots. Kind of shadows the eyes a little bit, but it's not too bad. This looks way better than the it does in those promotional shots. But yeah, let's get him pegged in. There we go. But yeah, he is taking fairly full advantage of the height of the Figma stand. As you can see, it's kind of bowed out like that a little bit, but not by much. Not as much as I was expecting it to be bowed out given the height of this. But thanks to that height, you can just kind of get them as far up as you fucking need. Like, holy shit. But yeah. Overall, I do think I recommend Persona 5's Joker. I imagine this will be the figure to get if you're just jumping in to Figma's Persona 5 line. And I'm glad for this most recent re-release of it, so that more people can get their hands on the main character of the game, especially in his Phantom Thief design. Yeah, let me know what you think of this figure, what you think of Persona 5, I guess. I'm a big fan of it, as you can tell, which is why we're buying all of these toys about it. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I should do more Persona 5 videos, I guess. Sorry it's not coming out the best on camera, but I'm making it work. Do all the usual YouTube stuff. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. I imagine there should be more Persona 5 stuff coming around the pipeline, in between all the annoying Kamen Rider videos that I love to make. But yeah, let me know what you think. And until next time, I'll see you around. Bye-bye!